lecture is about capital budgeting and its non-discounting techniques. After this lecture, you will be able to understand the concept of capital budgeting, the features of capital budgeting, the non-discounting techniques of capital budgeting and their advantages and disadvantages. Capital budgeting is the technique of making decisions for investment in long-term assets. It is a process of deciding whether or not to invest the funds in a particular asset, the benefit of which will be available over a period of time longer than 1 year. Thus, we can say that a capital budgeting decision may be defined as a firm's decision to invest its funds in the long-term asset in anticipation of an expected flow of benefits over the lifetime of the asset. These benefits may be either in the form of increased sales or reduced cost. Capital budgeting decisions generally include decisions regarding expansion, acquisition, modernization, and replacement of the long-term assets. We can draft many features from the given meaning of the capital budgeting, like long-term decisions. These are and they affect the profitability of the firm. These are irreversible decisions. The involvement of funds are very large and they are very risky. We can classify the techniques of capital budgeting into two broad categories: discounting techniques and non-discounting techniques. Discounting techniques like NPV, net present value, IRR, internal rate of return, PI, profitability index, and non-discounting techniques are ARR, accounting rate of return, and payback period, PBP. Now we are going to discuss ARR, accounting rate of return. ARR is also known as average rate of return. It is based upon accounting information rather than cash flows. It can be calculated as given in the formula. ARR is equals to average annual profit after taxes divided by average investment into 100. Average annual profit after tax will be equal to total of after tax profit of all years divided by number of years. Average investment is equals to original investment plus salvage value divided by 2. ARR calculated would be compared with the predetermined rate of return. A project would be accepted if the actual ARR is higher than the predetermined rate, otherwise the project is liable to be rejected. If there are various projects under consideration, project having highest ARR will be accepted. There are some advantages and disadvantages of this method. This method is very simple to understand and use. ARR method uses the entire profits earned during the lifetime of the project in calculating project's profitability. This method has some disadvantages also. It uses accounting income rather than cash flows. In this approach, it uses accounting income instead of cash inflow received from a project. Cash profits are superior than accounting income because cash profits can be reinvested during the lifetime of the project itself. The second principal shortcoming of ARR approach is that it does not make into account the time value of money. Earning of all the years during the lifetime of the project is given equal weightage under this method. Another disadvantage is that it is very difficult to fix a minimum or predetermined rate of return with which the actual ARR is compared. It does not differentiate between the size of the investment required for various projects. Investment proposals competing with each other may have the same ARR but may require different investment. In such a situation, ARR method does not indicate as to which project will be selected. Now we are going to discuss payback method, that is PBP, payback period. This method calculates the number of years required to pay back the original investment in a project. It can be calculated by the given formula. PBP is equals to investment upon constant annual cash flow. For example, if a project requires an investment of 60,000 and is expected to yield an annual cash inflow of 12,000 for 8 years, its payback period will be 60,000 divided by 12,000 is equals to 5 years. The payback period of 5 years denotes that the investment made in the project will be recovered in 5 years. Actual payback period calculated according to this method is compared with the predetermined payback period fixed by the management in terms of maximum period during which the original investment must be recouped. If the actual payback period is less than the predetermined payback period, the project would be accepted. If not, it would be rejected. Alternatively, when many projects are under consideration, they may be ranked according to the length of the payback period. Obviously, projects having the shorter payback period will be selected. This method also has some advantages and disadvantages. The advantages of this methods are as given in the slide. It is very simple method. The most sufficient merit of this method is that it is simple to understand and easy to calculate. This method is very appropriate for firms suffering from shortage of cash because the emphasis in this method is on the quick recovery of the original investment. The method is very suitable where the long-term outlook is extremely uncertain and risky. In a politically unstable country, for instance, the speedy recovery of the original investment rather than the subsequent profit is the primary goal. This method is beneficial for firms which lay more emphasis on short-term earnings rather than the long-term growth. It is a superior to ARR method because it is based on cash flow analysis. Also, if the ARR of the two projects is equal, the payback period approach shows that the project with a shorter payback period will be preferred, as it refunds the capital outlay either earlier than the other. This method has some disadvantages also. The major shortcoming of this method is that it completely ignores all cash inflows after the payback period. It ignores the time value of money. This is another deficiency of the payback method, is that it ignores the time value of money. The method treats a rupee received in the second year or third year as valuable as a rupee received in the first year. If suppose the payback period is 4 years, the method does not provide an answer as to whether the project will be accepted or rejected. This is another shortcoming of this method. This is because it is very difficult to fix a minimum acceptable payback period. It ignores the cost of capital. This method lays too much emphasis on liquidity or the quick recovery of the investment. If payback is adopted as the main criteria for a project selection, liquidity would receive priority over the profitability of a project. Hence, all the long-term profitable investment proposals would be rejected. Despite the above shortcomings, the payback method continues to remain quite popular in practice. Thank you.